let's go ahead and jump into this.
Let's do this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Formula America podcast. We're your hosts, Kurt and Dylan, and it's race week. Once again, Formula One's heading to the Baku city circuit, which of all the city circuits might be one of my favorites. It's like my favorite street circuit.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. It's kind of hard. Checo's the only multiple time winner here.
Checo has won here more than anybody else. He is the GOAT at this track.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this year, but I do think he'll have a good showing.
Yeah, so we got, I was looking up, it's one of the few, as they say, anti-clockwise or counterclockwise tracks, which is a little bit different. Normally they all, head to the right, but this one, they're, most of the turns are to the left. Most of the turns are 90 degrees. Mm-hmm. You've got those super tight sections. I think the one section is like 25 feet across, just barely. You're getting one car through there. You got the castle section. This one's pretty cool. You get super. I think, isn't this the longest straightaway?
Yeah,
on the calendar?
2 kilometers, over a mile and change.
We had, what was it? I think 2016
Bottas.
Valtteri Bottas, 235 miles an hour, the new record for basically top speed in a Formula One car on track.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think now they're saying the cars are like 216, 217, somewhere in there. But still, it's fast.
What's crazy, I was reading up on it this morning, and I'm looking over here at the chart and whatnot, but usually everyone worries about the front tires, whether it's a left-hand track or right-hand track, it, burns the tire up more, the outer steering tire. On this one, they said the bigger issue is your back rear tire, because you have that crazy long straightaway. So you want to run like a low downforce package, but then you have all those 90-degree turns, the castle section where you need high downforce. So a lot of the teams kind of compromise the straightaway speed so that they can have some cornering ability. But because of that, down the straightaway, you blow out the back tires because there's so much downforce at 216 miles an hour going down the straightaway, and it really messes with the back tires, which causes a ton of sliding, which I thought was super interesting. It's very different than the norm.
Well, what year was that where Max Verstappen lost the back tire on the main straight?
21.
Put it in 21. Yeah, put it into the wall. You got that famous picture when he got out and kicked the car and stormed off.
Yep, I watched that this morning.
Yeah, and then Lewis Hamilton with the brake magic, where he started the restart of the race and just locked up and just completely went off the runoff at turn 1, which turn 1 at this track is amazing. It's so wide. You can get so many cars going in that, but it's a complete 90-degree left-hander. So by the end of that turn, you get 3 wide going into the turn, but real quick, they've got to get in line. So I love turn 1 on this track.
This track's a ton of fun. Most of the street circuits, like Singapore coming up, is kind of Monaco. This one has just craziness involved with it. And we usually get a safety car, courtesy of, De Vries, Stroll, usually most of the goats. Sonoda.
Magnussen, who's not going to be racing this time.
Yeah, but we got two rookies to take his place.
That's because I think I don't have the exact number, but I want to say we're at somewhere between 5 and 7 races without a safety car. Pretty much, you can almost guarantee there's going to be a safety car this weekend.
It's time.
So,
so we got C3 through C5 tires, softest in the lineup. This is typically a one-stopper, medium to hard. I think everybody started on the mediums. Last year, De Vries put it in the wall in lap 11. Everyone switched over to hards and ran it out. So safety car likely, one-stopper probably. Checo is the only 2-time winner here, but Leclerc has gotten pole here for the past 3 years in a row. Typical Leclerc magic, way to put it on pole, but, finishing the race is hard. But
this is the I am stupid track.
Yes.
He hit the wall and he's like, I'm stupid. I just remembered that.
So
poor Leclerc.
Oh, I know. So trivia, courtesy of Pirelli. The capital of Azerbaijan is Baku, which was founded by Alexander the Great. And the city's name in Arabic, Baku, means gust of wind. It's apparently quite windy. And that has caused a lot of trouble with these cars in the past because the wind, as you go through the city, kind of changes directions. They said the tarmac gets different temperatures because of where the sun is and if the buildings have shade on the tarmac. So they said it kind of causes a nightmare for drivers based on the wind. What parts of the track are hot or cold? It changes as the sun moves. Like there's a lot of the outside elements that actually kind of come into play here.
That's pretty interesting. That's why it's so difficult
Yeah.
for these drivers and why this race is so exciting. I actually just saw that it was called the City of Wind. I had no idea why it was called the City of Wind. So thank you for that, Dylan. Right on the water.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. I drink and I know things.
I just drink.
What else? It's a long track. 6.003 kilometers. Which is
only 51 laps,
3.75 miles of freedom.
Woo!
Leclerc in 2019 holds the track record at 1:43. It's a long freaking lap around there. And that's what called Max out last year, right? Like, so De Vries just buckled his tire, like got greedy going around a corner, broke the suspension in his front tire and stopped on the track as Max came into the pits. Had a full-time pit, and then as he came out of the pit, safety car dropped. And so he was shuffled down to like P8, and then he came up to P3 behind Leclerc and Checo, and he managed to get past Leclerc, but never caught Checo, and that's how Checo won it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this track's so long, I think you can get called out on stuff like that.
Yeah, and Max and Red Bull as a whole is one of my questions. I got 3 questions that I was like, what's going to happen this weekend? One of them is, where is Red Bull going to lie?
Yeah.
Because after the last race, Max was basically calling for a brand new car. So that one is a big wild card for me, is what's going to happen with the Red Bulls this week. And then,
I was thinking about it last night. I was laying in bed and I was like, I expected the Red Bull dominance to end. Like it was going to be contended and we were going to have a lot of competition. I did not expect them to drop to the back of the leading pack. Right. Like, Max is going to win some. Lando is going to win some. Is going to be like Leclerc and Max in the beginning of 22 where, oh, man. And now it's like, I don't even think they're going to be on the podium.
I thought it was going to be a gradual transition or like handoff of power, but they just completely fell off. And now, like, I don't know the last time I predicted a Max Verstappen podium on our predictions.
I've still been predicting it, but it hadn't been helping me at all.
It's been a bit. And so, for me, what's going to go on with the Red Bull? I've also got Behrman, because Behrman is, this is second race. He's actually in his Haas instead of the Ferrari this time. Haas, the car's been like, it's been kind of up and down. Like some races they'll do really well. So I'm excited to see kind of where he'll be. I guess compared to Nico is the good comparison for him there. And then McLaren, man. McLaren, are they going to tighten the leash? Are they going to let them continue to fight it out? Are they going to continue to let Oscar yank points off of Lando, or what are they going to do? If they qualify next to each other, what are they going to say, for the start of this race? So that's the big question mark for me, is McLaren and these so-called papaya rules and what that's going to mean this weekend.
I don't know. I think we're going to I was thinking about that too, because I don't think Red Bull's going to be super well suited with the long straightaway. Same thing with Mercedes. I don't think this is going to be a Mercedes friendly track. But never count them out. But I think this is going to be a Ferrari McLaren kind of front end. And you remember when, like in 22, when the kind of competition between Sainz and Leclerc was starting to heat up, and every time they came close, we were like, the hell is Ferrari going to do? And generally, they just pulled one into the pits and tried to avoid it. I think that's what McLaren's going to start doing. They have 2 number 1 drivers. They're going to say, hey, papaya rules, race race clean. But as soon as they get near each other, they're going to jack their strategy up just to avoid being like they've been on the radio. They've been gross on the radio. I hate listening to it.
They've been, every time, like this whole strategy, it seems like whenever the cars get close, they just get nervous and like to the point like, oh, and like you said, they're just going to be like, just come in the pits.
Yeah.
Like, bring somebody in the pits. But I don't know. Hopefully, I got my Lando hat on. I'm a Lando fan. Hopefully, they'll sit him down and be like, "Look, boys,
Oscar's going to be the better driver, so Lando, take a back seat.
Like, Oscar,
go cry over there.
Play wingman."
No, Oscar, it's all yours. You got this.
That's what Mark Webber's doing in the background.
Yeah, he is.
It's like no matter what they say, you take it. You're not a number 2. You're number 1 in my heart.
Living vicariously through you since Vettel kicked my ass. You're my chance.
All right, man. Are you ready to get into these predictions?
I am. I'm kind of nervous for these. I'm more nervous for this one than I've been for most of the other ones.
I have a feeling that we're probably going to have the same people on the podium, just a slight,
what order?
Hopefully jumbled up. Yeah, a little bit in the order. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you'll surprise me. All right. Why don't you start out with your poll?
I got Lando. Lando's going to get it on pole.
God dang it. So I got Lando on pole too. I don't know if I want to go for the point and try to change it or go for the safe one, because I think Lando's going to pull it out.
I think he is.
I'm sticking with Lando. My other one, I had an alternative for Leclerc, but I think I'm going to stick it out with Lando.
Thought about Leclerc as well, especially since he's done it the past 3 years. He was interviewed last week after the last race, was ecstatic to come to Baku. I think he's in good spirits. I really thought about Leclerc, but I think that McLaren's faster. Like
it's hard.
If Lando and Leclerc are same talent level, I'm picking the McLaren right now.
Yeah, like right now, picking McLaren and picking Lando is kind of like Max and Red Bull at the beginning of the year. So I'm sticking with it. I'm staying with Lando, and I guess we'll both get the point on that one, or no point. So there'll be no change.
Who do you have on P3?
All right, P3. I've got the Aussie number 2, Oscar Piastri.
Ooh, we do have a change up.
Okay,
I've got Leclerc in P3.
Oh, perfect. All right, Charles Leclerc. I am stupid. It was an incident. His incident in Monaco this past weekend, driving his Ferrari, going like 5 miles an hour around the hairpin.
You know, like when I'm like same thing when Lewis Hamilton crashed his Pagani Zonda LH. You've got to just be like, oh God, this is going to be all over the news.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
There's also, I know we're completely getting derailed now, but there's also the video last week that came out where Fernando Alonso finally got delivered his Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Yes.
And then it broke down like an hour later and they had to get it towed.
You're like, oh, that's. Yeah. Who do you have on? All right. P2.
P2, back to business. I have Charles Leclerc in P2.
I've got Lando Norris in P2.
Oh my God. So you've got. Oh, you.
And the realization sets in.
All right. Well, P1, I've got Lando Norris, the guy
Oscar Piastri for the win,
out
baby.
Of here. No, it's not gonna look. No, it's not gonna happen. McLaren's not gonna allow it to happen because now they understand that looking at the points, we've got Lando Norris is 62 points behind Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. 62. He's actually got somewhat of a chance.
Andrea Stella does not have the backbone to make that call on the track. It's going to just be the quote, air quote, papaya rules. And then they're going to be like, oh God, we have to change our strategy. And then they're going to be like, pit Carlos Sainz. I mean, and then Lando's going to come in. They're going to have like intermediate tires out for some reason. And Oscar's going to steal the win.
Nope. Zach Brown is not going to allow that to happen. I just looked it up. Oscar Piastri is currently sitting at 197 as far as points.
So what's the difference between him and
44
and
points behind Lando?
Shit, that's 2 races.
Which 106 points behind Max.
Shit, that's 5 races. Easy.
Get out of here.
Piastri's got this.
Anyways, moving on. Wildcard. What do you got? I know you had some issues. You went back and forth on yours.
I'm gonna give some of my asterisk ones that I was thinking about. I almost said Checo will beat Max.
Okay.
But I just don't think that's gonna happen. Like, you know, Max has come back to Checo's area now, but I still think Max is just a better driver. I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think Max is gonna be in the top 5 though.
Ooh, dang. Okay. So is that your wild card?
That's my wild card. I don't think
Max out of the top 5.
Max out of the top 5.
You know what's wild for me is how much I guess we kind of think alike. Because my wild card is Perez will perform better or will finish better than Max.
I did not. I thought I was so far off of yours. I thought you were going to do a DNF or something.
No, I've legitimately got Perez over Verstappen here. And I'm not saying that he's going to necessarily beat him. Max might put it into a wall. Max might get caught up into a DNF somewhere, but Perez will finish better than Max.
I'm cool with that. It'd be an interesting.
And you got Max finishing out of the top 5.
Yep.
Oof. Which it's very plausible.
It is. It's still Max Verstappen in a Red Bull. Like, and if they bring an upgrade package and Max is happy with the car, anything is possible. But
I know.
I don't know what's happened to that Red Bull. Is Adrian Newey sabotaging him?
I don't know. It seems like, when did Adrian make the announcement? Was it after Japan? It was around Japan, which is kind of when that car started going down.
He's just taking little parts off of it here and there. And don't worry, Christian, this is the aero package you really want.
He had his red notebook. He ripped out one page and ate it, and that was the page. They're like, oh, that was what we needed. He just eats it right in front of him as they're chasing
right in front of Christian and Jos Verstappen.
Man, I don't know why. I am so excited for this weekend. Overly excited for this race.
And we go to the schedule. We got a standard weekend. All right.
Yep.
We've got quali at 7 a.m. on Saturday, race at 6 a.m. Central Time. So, you can just wake up, have a cup of coffee, maybe put some bourbon cream in it, and watch the race.
There you go. It's going to be a good day, man. I'm pumped for it.
I am dose.
All right. Well, I think that might be it for this one. Make sure you guys like this podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Give it a follow and share it with a friend if you can. And other than that, I think that might be it. So, got anything else, Dylan?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, on that note,
stay classy, America.
We'll see you next time.